All right, well, peace, peace, peace. First and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High in your house shall bless your day. By His mercies you are consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house as body, and two are naturally alive, man. And I want to get into this, man, because you know what? I was listening to it earlier, you know, and I was watching. Well, I'm gonna put. We're gonna upload the clip up, but you know, of LL Cool J. But pretty much, man, I was watching a clip of him saying like during the time he was at Def Jam, and saying and when Jay Z took in charge, and that's why he had a little issue with him it not being promoted, him not promoting his albums and things in nature. You know, so. But yeah, but he said something in there in the quote. He said, "Listen, just because you own the you know how to bake doesn't mean you own a bakery." But pretty much, man. But reason why I bring that up because I was listening to even his song called Paradise, man. Like you know, I always think of what the thief that was I mean, not the thief, the man that was crucified next to you, Howard Shah. When I hear that song, man, he said, and that was all fulfilling of Joseph when he said, "Remember me," when Joseph was in prison and like you know with the you know in Genesis was it 42 or 41? I can't remember, but I think we touched on it before a while back, man. But let's actually look at that real quick. But we're gonna get another example of this in the you know it's not in the law, but you know we're going to get you know get an example of this in the you know, in the Tanakh or the prophets, man, like you know, of that whole, because you know that's the importance of the witness and testimony in the in the gospel, man, in the new covenant, man, because it's to believe on the Most High House, as the scriptures say, and they come in the whole volume of the book. So his witness is in Genesis to Malachi, man. Like the shout out to brother Sammy Firstborn, like he said. But let's grab this too. Yeah. Cause this word the yeah, this is what it was fulfillment of Genesis chapter okay. Yeah, Genesis chapter 40, verse 14. This is where the we're gonna grab this too. It says Genesis 40 and verse 14. It says, "But think of me when it be well with thee. Shew kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house." So see, yep. Let's go to Luke real quick, because this is what we kind of mentioned this before, but nothing like Peter said, bring back to remembrance. Because one, I need to bring most of this stuff back to remembrance, but yeah, man, it's just like the fact that you know yes, all the witness and testimony, how the Most High House shall come to the volume book, his witness, his testimony, things that he said, taught, lived. Like, you know, that's the witness of him. The scriptures bearing witness of him. That the whole book is about him. But let's get this Luke chapter 20 23 verse 42. It says, "And he said unto you, how shall Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom." So yeah, let's go back to Genesis 40 verse 14. "But think of me, well, when it be well with thee, and shew kindness, I pray thee unto me, then make mention of me, and the Pharaoh when thou bring me out of his house." So see, even with the story of Joseph, man, because he tells you from the beginning, you should see even with Adam and Eve, with Joseph, and like the exit, you all should see this all leading up to your house. You should also like the brother Akawar, shout out to brother Akawar, man, my brother Akawar, man. He said, you know, he like you always said, man, you gotta read it through most on your house perspective, man. But you should see that then, like the brother Assembly the Firstborn said, man, like you know the Joseph, like you know him being sold into slavery, like you know him being sold into slavery by his brothers, by Judas handing him over, like you know him being in the pit, him rising from the pit, then after his bondage, after like you know that his captivity, like you know he's equal with the Father, man, like you know, but only the throne of the Father was greater, man. So he becomes everything he went through is, but then he ends up as a king, man. That's the same thing with Yahushua, man. Pretty much him going like you know him coming in the flesh, so we could overcome sin and death, like you know, and then him dying and resurrecting and becoming like you know having the right hand with the Father, man. But you should all see like you know then him and Judas, same with what we talked about the other day with Judah handing him over to Ishmaelites, getting sold into Egypt, just like Judas handed Yahushua over, man. Like you know. and the Pharisees, of course, as well, and a lot of people did as well. But yeah, man, you should see the witness of Yahushua throughout the book, man. But this is what it is. So that's the meaning of reading it as from their perspective, man. But let's grab this too. Genesis chapter 14, verse 40, verse 14. But think of me when it shall be well with thee, to shew kindness, and I pray thee unto me, to make Pharaoh, to make me make mention unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. So see, yeah, exactly. Now, and it's the same thing. This is like even talking about the kingdom, of course, man. It's kind of even saying the same thing. Luke chapter 23, verse 42 to 42. It says, and he said unto Yahushua, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. So see, yeah, and that even in that what he said in Genesis in 40:14, he said, and when it comes into the house, man. Then Yahushua said, in my father's house, many mentions, man, like many talking about the kingdom, man. Of course, man, and also too, man, like that goes into like if you go into the Hebrew, shout out to brother Sammy first one, it's going to booths, man. That means also too that's going to inward kingdom, man, because that booths, that tabernacle, man, which is the kingdom within you, the Most High Yahushua doing in you, man, but also to the physical kingdom as well, man. So, yeah, man, but we're going to get another place this as well in Judges, man, because let's grab this with Samson. But let's look at this and read this again. It says, and Yahushua, and I'm sorry, Luke chapter 23, verse 42, it says, and he said unto Yahushua, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. So let's get this in Judges as well, because here's another example of that. Because it's a tad different, but it's very similar. Because both people are on the brink are about to die, but they want the Most High Yahushua to remember them and strengthen their faith. But now, like the man that was crucified next to Yahushua, he believed on him, man. Like he had the spiritual eyes, like and ears to believe on him, man. Like he had that faith, man. But yeah, and see, this all deals with faith as well with Samson. Judges chapter 16, verse 28. Because notice how both of them are about to die, and they say, remember me. And Samson called unto the Lord, O Lord Yahweh, remember me, I pray thee, strengthen me. And trusting in the Lord is everlasting strength. Trusting in Most High Yahushua, that faith is everlasting strength. And we kind of talked about this the other day. I pray thee only this once, O Yahweh, that I may at once be avenged of the Philistine for my two eyes. So see, exactly, he says, remember me. So let's go back to this. This is another thing, just like in Genesis with Joseph in 40, this is another witness of that. It says, and he said unto Yahushua, Lord, remember me when thou comest into thy kingdom. So yeah, exactly. So, and then also too, like it says with Samson, he killed more than his life more in his death than his life. Then even in Yahushua's death, like he saved more in his death than in his life, man. So that's is what it is right there, man. But yeah, man, that's that. Remember me, dang, man, exactly, man. Like so yeah, exactly. So And we want to be a member of the Most High Yahushua. Being rented. No, it's good that Malachi. Let's get that Malachi real quick. Malachi chapter 3 verse 6. It says, and they that feared the Lord spake often to one another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it, and the book of remembrance was written before him, and for them that feared the Lord and thought upon his name. So see, exactly, and that goes back, and that goes into being that genealogy in heaven, man, being written in heaven, being written in the book of life, being written in heaven, man, having that, because like these righteous people in here, man, our ancestors, forefathers, sons and daughters of the Most High Yahushua, they got witness that goes into Matthew 6, on earth as it is in heaven. They got witness in heaven, they got like genealogies and witnesses in heaven and here on earth when we read about them, like when we seek the book out of the Lord, man. So yeah, man, that's what it is, man. But it didn't stop with them. It's constantly going. That's what we like. That's my hope and desire for you, brothers and sisters, man. Like even for our people, even that's that Romans 10:1, man. Like for all of our people, but that's not gonna happen. But and it's my hope and desires as well, man. That's why even Yahushua, even like this too, like with the whole what Yahushua said in Luke 10, like about like spiritual power and all stuff like that. He said, don't rejoice over that, because you could, like, you have spiritual power, like, spiritual subject unto you. You can heal, stuff like that. Rejoice that your name is written in heaven, man. And also too, let's read this again. It says, Malachi 3:16. It says, they that feared the Lord spake often to one another, and the Lord hearkened and heard it. And the book was of remembrance written before them. And they that feared the Lord and thought upon his name. So see, what's that name? Exodus 34:6. And that's why, like, that's why Proverbs 16 goes into, like, think upon his works. Think upon, and that work, the ultimate work, is the work of faith. And the faith is believing on his name, as the scriptures say. And believing on him, believing on the Most High House, as the scriptures say. If you're gonna believe on them, you're gonna believe on the name. So it's all saying the same thing. Exodus 34:6. It says, and the Lord passed by and before him and proclaimed, the Lord Yahweh, merciful, gracious, long suffering, and abundant in goodness and truth. So yeah, exactly, man. So that's all it is, though, man. But that's really what it is to for the as far as remember me, like, coming in that place of paradise, like, yeah, man, that's it, is what it is, man. We want to be in that paradise, man, and, like, and that's the place of pleasure, man. That's the Garden of Eden again, man. But new heavens, new earth, man, the kingdom. But first, of course, the inward kingdom. Then it's going to manifest in the physical kingdom. But anyway, man, hopefully it's edifying, man. So peace.